Hi, I'm Joel Ankney, and I'm a lawyer who helps entrepreneurs start and run their businesses. I'm also the author of Before You Leap, a guidebook to help entrepreneurs recognize and resolve legal issues associated with starting and running a freelance, consulting, or independent contractor business. At the beginning of the COVID-19 shutdown, one of my most successful clients reminded me that he started his business during the 2008 recession. The pause in the economy caused by the COVID-19 crisis has created an opportunity for people to start a business or to review their existing business and focus on issues you might usually push to the bottom of your to-do list during busier times. Starting and running a business is risky. You can minimize those risks by identifying, understanding, and navigating 4 categories of legal issues. First, using a legal entity, such as a limited liability company or corporation, to protect your personal assets from your business liabilities. Second, protecting your intellectual property, such as your brand names, copyrights, and trade secrets. Third, using appropriate contracts with your clients. And fourth, adopting an approach for resolving disputes with your clients. You should use a limited liability company or corporation to operate your business. LLCs and corporations create a barrier to protect your personal assets from your business liabilities. If you don't use an LLC or corporation, a business creditor can get to your personal assets to satisfy the liabilities from your business. You should make sure your LLC or corporation is properly formed with the appropriate legal documents. Note, however, that there are at least 3 ways a business creditor might be able to get to your personal assets to satisfy business liabilities, even if you use an LLC or a corporation. First, if you have personally guaranteed the debt. Second, if the liability arises out of your negligence. And third, if you have completely disregarded your LLC or corporation. Intellectual property, such as trademarks, copyrights, trade secrets, and patents, can be some of the most valuable assets of a small business. For example, a unique brand name for a product or service is a trademark. Software code, website content, photographs, videos, and written materials are all protected by copyright. Secret recipes or confidential methods for making products or delivering services are trade secrets. A small business should take an inventory of what intellectual property it owns. Then a business owner should decide how to protect that intellectual property through registration if available, using contracts, adopting policies and procedures, or a combination of all those approaches. You should also be careful about using other people's intellectual property without their permission, because unauthorized use can expose you to infringement claims that can be expensive to resolve. Small businesses enter into contracts with their clients, whether they are aware of it or not. Your contract might take the form of a written agreement, a purchase order, website terms and conditions, a verbal agreement, or an implied contract based on practices in your industry. While verbal agreements are enforceable in Virginia, the best practice is to have a written or digital agreement signed by all the parties. Contracts are not one-size-fits-all documents. You should make sure the agreement you use fits your circumstances. A well-drafted contract can protect your business and help you resolve disputes. It's inevitable that you will have disputes with your clients from time to time. Clients might be dissatisfied with your product or your services, or they might not pay you for various reasons. Even though a dispute might be based on a legal claim, it might be more effective to attempt to resolve the dispute through negotiation without involving lawyers. If the dispute cannot be resolved and escalates to the point where lawyers get involved, a letter from your lawyer probably won't motivate your client to settle the dispute. Instead, you and your lawyer should map out a strategy for enforcing or defending your rights, which might include mediation, arbitration, or filing a lawsuit. Remember that you will be responsible for paying your lawyer even if you win, unless your contract requires the loser to pay the winner's legal fees. Dealing with legal problems can suck the time, money, fun, and excitement out of starting and running a small business. But investing some time and effort to spot legal issues and prepare for their resolution before a problem arises will help you maintain your focus on your business.